Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be watching us at, where you may be present at. Y'all know this is our Saturday morning, Saturday edition of the Walking This Way Impact World podcast. Of course, I am Furman JASE Jr., along with my lovely co-host Nancy C. out of Miami, Florida. And of course, we are broadcasting out of the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas metropolitan area. I'm very honored, Nancy, and very excited, very proud of a very special guest on in the show. I connected with her via Facebook. She's a very productive woman in the city, around the community, doing a lot of great things. Her name is Jessica, of course, but she goes by Jess. I hope I said that right because I want to butcher nobody's name. You know how it is with saying names, whatever. But I'm with Jessica, so I thank Jessica for joining us this morning. She's gonna take us behind the scenes on all that she does, and also big shout out to the New York Yankees who are in the World Series. I know originally Nancy, native New Yorker, by the way. So I know you're pulling for the Yankees to win the World. It's been a while since they've been to the World Series, ain't it? Right? It's been some years.
they've been. Yep.
The last time
Any great athletes out there, Texas, don't get mad.
but big shout out to the Yankees in the World Series. They've been there. Last time they won the World Series was when A-Rod was on. A-Rod, Derek Jeter, and all of them was on that team. They won the World Series. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to Texas Rangers because they did win the championship World Series last year. So big shout out to them also as well. But we know we love greatness, and we know we're all about positivity, all about the upbeat, all about the kingdom on here. So Nancy, I know you're out there in MIA. So how's it going in Miami, Florida? I know the weather here in Texas is bipolar, of course. It'll be fall, but it feels like summer here. But how's it down in Miami?
Same would be like bipolar, but usually it's hot here. So.
Oh yeah, all year round in Florida, y'all have like the summertime, no fall, no winter, or none of that.
Yeah.
But big shout. But also, big shout out to Miami. We know they're doing a lot of great things in Miami. I know the gospel is going hard and going stronger than ever in Miami as well. Because I know you out there in that community, bringing forth the good news. We know that Jesus, the way, the truth, and the life. We know that. We know that He is our answer. We know that He laid a foundation for us. It's just we have to follow it. And when we in this chaotic world now, you see that, Nancy, and you see it just as well. We're in the chaotic world now where everything is so chaotic right now. How things are going, they're calling good evil, evil good, and we see that, and we know that the Bible told us about these things. So we shouldn't be in shock because He forewarned about these things that was going to take place. So we know that it's leading up to something bigger and greater. So we are looking forward to that, even though got chaos going on. But we know at the end of the day, he's going to solve everything. He's
Yep.
created a new heaven and a new earth, and everybody looking forward to being part of that as well. But that's what it's all about. So what we're talking about today, I know what I guess today. Like I said, I guess Nancy, she's a very extraordinary woman. She's doing a lot of great things. Matter of fact, the young lady that we had on the show, she actually works with Jessica. So Jessica set that up with us. Big shout out to her as well. And it was on her birthday that she came on the show. But
Yeah.
we're gonna get more off the that. So Jessica, thank you for taking time out of your productive schedule to be on the show this morning. I know you are a woman of expertise. I know that you're a woman that's constantly on the go, and you're doing something that you love doing. That's what me and Nancy is all about. Here on the show, you're doing something that you know you was birthed to do, called to do, and just takes behind the scene on who is this extraordinary woman that's hanging out with me and Nancy today on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me and making sure you're getting my name right. You definitely got my government name right. And Jess is short for Jessica, so a lot of people do say that, because of the way I have it on Facebook. Right? I started Facebook in 2009 and just started getting organic following that way, just by being myself. Just talking about my life and a little bit, not too much. Balance. So that's kind of how some of all of this started. But just going back to your original question, which was take us behind the scenes to how I started this, or
Yeah,
why.
on how you started this, how it came about. Like I said, I know you are a very extraordinary woman.
Sorry, guys. He has to make
Oh,
an appearance.
ain't nothing wrong with that. Look at him. Oh, look at him. But you are an extraordinary woman, in my opinion. So take us behind the scenes on who is this extraordinary woman who is doing extraordinary things here in the here in the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So originally how I started, or why I started in the music industry itself, was I was in choir all my life, from middle school through high school into my adult years, in church and in school. So it was both. Sorry, guys. Yeah, yes, and I have this on Do Not Disturb, but some people are allowed to get through those things somehow.
It's all
I
good.
don't know. He must have called back to back or something. Anyway, so going back to what I was just saying, got into the music industry because I was already in it. It was my passion. I was, writing music since I can remember, like 5, 6 silly little things, but actually it was pretty clever. When I go back and look about it, I was like, oh, okay, at that age, because I saved a book, in a journal type of thing where it was, rhymes or just everything. And so I've always been into fashion, beauty, music, entertainment, just entertainment itself, and the healthy side though, where it's good to tell everyone being unique is a very good thing. Being yourself is what people really want to know, because otherwise, if you're hiding, it's going to come out anyway,
Right.
and then you're going to look bad, and you're not going to keep your people, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of what I've always just kind of spoke to the world, like, live out your dreams, be yourself, and you'll be able to do it if you just keep pushing and doing what you feel you're called to do. As you were saying earlier, I do feel called to do this because I didn't have the support so I went to so many churches, but I was kind of alone. I was always going, and seeking out different kinds of churches and different religions, and just studying it because I, was kind of alone in that journey, if you will.
Right.
And anyway, so that's kind of how it all got started. And then when I built the following on social media as a mom of a son that wanted to be in this industry, the music industry specifically, and he wanted to rap. And of course I'm like, that's cliche. Don't do that. And then I was like, and he's like begging, and so I was like, all right, let me see what you got. And yeah, my mouth dropped to the floor because I didn't know he had it like that. But he had been doing it since he was 9, just kind of messing around and playing with it. And then, yeah, at 15, he was like, yeah, I'm trying to do this. I was like, yeah, but we just moved to Oklahoma so you can go to OU for football. What are you doing? He's like, but I know you can make me a star. I was like, no. Oh my God. So anyway, so yeah, here we are. And now I've just decided to make that into an agency and help other musicians that didn't have what I didn't have, including a supportive mama like me for my son. You know what I mean? No dabs at anybody, or I'm not digging at nobody about that. But I'm just simply saying it did propel me to want to do all the things that I'm doing now. And so in that, building a private sector or a nonprofit sector of my agency is what I'm working on now. I already sponsor a few of my musicians, which means, they don't pay me. I'm investing in them, my time, my energy, my everything, And so, yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell what it is. And of course, it would not be here without God and knowing him. Like, I've been seeking him out, like I said, since I didn't care that I didn't really have anyone next to me doing it. I was doing it. And so I have a very good relationship with him. So why I gravitated to your podcast, why we connected in the first place.
Yeah, you know what?
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, you're welcome, Jay, and I appreciate you for taking time on your productive schedule. And big shout out to Nikki, because we had Nikki on here. I think last week? I
2
think
weeks
we had
ago.
her
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
With
so y'all
time.
missed out.
Oh yeah, and I said awesome woman, phenomenal woman. I thank you for connecting me and her, as she came with me and Nancy a couple of weeks ago to just take us behind the scenes of what she's doing, how she got started, and that's what it's all about: positivity, being positive, representing the kingdom, and doing great work. And that's what it's all about: doing great work. And like I said, with you, like I said, trusting God, believing God to what He has birthed within you to do. And out of that, your son as well, implemented with rap and stuff, and how you was amazed by that. But I like how you encourage your son to go forth. You was not that parent to say, hey, don't do that. Find something that's gonna make you money. But we knowing that we all have a gift. We know that our gift make room for us. According to Proverbs, everybody has a gift. But it's up to us to find that gift, cultivate that gift. And that gift is so second nature to us, it will open up doors for us and bring us before great men that are in the position to take you to put you in different places, also supply you financially. Because when we're in the kingdom, and I've just been meditating on that, like in Matthew 6:33, it says, what? Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, all these things come be added. The wisdom, the instructions, the guidance, the finances, the peace, the joy, all that stuff is going to be added. But we always got to seek him first and say, you know what, God, what would you have me to do? Have y'all been in that moment in your life where you try to figure out all these things to say, you know what, I just throw it up. I just need to seek you, God. Nancy, want to time in on that one?
I think that you're doing a great thing because you're helping others cultivate their talents, right? And I feel like God is going to use you to help a lot more people. He says, if you've been faithful in a few, then he's going to put you over more. And I feel like God is going to open doors for you to help a lot of people in the industry that need guidance and need direction, because right now we're living in a time where there's chaos and they don't know what to do, and the industry right now is in a frenzy. So I feel like God is going to do amazing things through you, and I just wanted to tell you that.
Well, I felt that what y'all just said, like, tremendously. I'm literally feeling tears right now. So I definitely feel, connected very, very much so in this moment to
awesome.
As always, but definitely going back to what you mentioned earlier, have you felt like just throwing it all up because it's overwhelming, etc. on it every day. I'm like, something happens. I'm like, oh no, I got to move around. I'm going to, got to take care of that because that is not right, whatever it is. But it's not always that easy though, right? We still get into our feelings or our frustration, whatever you want to call it. But people have emotions. We're all human, not perfect, and we're not going to all, obviously give it straight to him in that very moment and just not even get into those feelings. But I've gotten a lot better at it, for sure. That definitely took some wisdom, some experience, but I would say that came with when my son got into an accident soon after he did his first and only album at the moment. He was 14. He's now 21. He was in an accident. He was ran over, traumatic brain injury. They said he would not live. I say, you're wrong. They said, oh, well, if he does, he's only going to be, you're wrong. I lived with him for 4 months in the hospital and just got on my hands and knees on that tile floor in the bathroom every night and talked to God about it, like clockwork. And I know that was a huge part of it, just being faithful, and the fact that at my worst of what I could do in the situation and what he knew I could take. And I told him every night, like, what can I take from this and how much can I handle? I can handle like several more years of what I've been going through with my son and his like up and downs and his, he's a wild child. Okay. That's how I'll put it. And yeah, so he definitely survived that. And that is definitely what brought it finally to a full circle for me. Because like I said, I didn't have anyone walking beside me for this. And so walking in his ways testimony, I need to link you with that guy, by the way. I've been meaning to do that. And he has a whole brand and he helped my son through all of this also.
Okay.
Did his journey. So I just thought of that. But that's kind of, again, why it kind of connected me to you, because I saw you put walk in his ways. And I'm like, okay, it's like a sign for me, and certain things that are said, I feel like are just for me, not just for me. Maybe he says it to other people like that too, but everybody has their thing. It's a little different for everybody, how your relationship goes with him. And so I commend anyone that did what I did, and you're seeking him anyways, and you have a relationship with him, no matter, as long as you're using it for good. And yeah, so thank you again for what y'all are doing.
Oh, you welcome, Jay, and I appreciate you as well. We appreciate you, me and Nancy. And I'm gonna tell you the back end on walking his way. People don't know this. I don't think they know. The originally, before we call this walking his ways, it was called Fight Club Radio. Remember that name? We was calling this show Fight Club Radio before it became walking his ways. And I think about it because we was playing gospel rap at the same time. But we're having discussions like this. It was called in Fight Club Radio. And it's like, you know what? As we start maturing and getting older than life, it's like, you know what? That just changed it to walking his ways, which the Bible tells us to walk in his ways. So it went from Fight Club to walking his ways. Because we are, so that's how it really originally was. And before we go into further, big shout out to Jenna here in the D of Dove. She said God will put greatness in you and he knows you would share with the world. Big shout out to her. Make sure y'all follow Jenna as well. She's a local content curator here in DFW. She goes out. She talks about different restaurants. She talks about the music industry as well here in the DFW. She would have a lot of local artists on her platform. So y'all make sure y'all go follow her. Awesome woman, great woman. I had opportunity to chop it up with her over coffee and stuff like that. Also, awesome individual. So y'all make sure y'all link up with her. She is in the DFW. So big shout out to Jen in the comment section this morning. And I also want to give a big shout out to Nikki as well, though. She was on here, of course. So she said she big love to big shout out to you as well. So big shout out to Nikki also in the comment section. So
I love you too, Nikki. And thank you, Jenna, for sure, for tuning in and for, of course, your kind words.
And that's what it's all about. And just going to that point of when I said, when you we try to figure things out, and we know that he is the answer within him and within his street. I know you mentioned how you prayed for your son when he was in the situation that he was in. It made me think about the scripture, Nancy and Jay, when Jesus went to the room and they thought that the child was dead, the daughter was dead, and he just said she was just sleeping. They laughed. That made me think about with your son's situation when you knew that God was gonna heal your son, and you had these doubters say, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, but how you stayed true to your faith in the midst of that, because we know that Jesus talked about the parable, and I'll read that this week too, when Jesus was talking about the parable of the sower, how when the word got sown and how the devil came and snatched the seed, and we know that once we get the word, we know the enemy gonna come, right? The enemy gonna come and snatch the word out of our heart, and we know that part of it was when some hear the word, they allow the cares of this world to come in and rob them of the seed. But you was the ones who stayed rooted and grounded when it came to your son, and how you bear the 100-fold of that because you stood on what the word of God said. And I just want to commend you for that, because you could have went with the doctor said. Big shout out to our doctors. We thank God for our doctors, but you knew what the word of God says. And then maybe think about when the child was asleep and they laughed at Jesus and Jesus moved him out the room and healed the child, and she came alive. That made me think about that.
I honestly and truly don't know all the stories, and I don't know that one very well. I briefly heard of it, right, but I don't know it thoroughly, so I won't begin to speak on it. But I will say that speaking of the doctors that you mentioned, they're it's like when he put flesh, him in any way, his son specifically included, right? He's, those are his angels who help him do that work, and in the human form. And that's just number one. And number two, the people that actually help me be able to do that, to live at the hospital, to have his care taken care of. I couldn't afford it. Those people were full of I wouldn't even say religious. It was just a spiritual relationship with God.
Right.
Many people would donate to this rehabilitation center in Bethany, Oklahoma, the Children's Center. Y'all check it out. Give them some support. Donate to help save children's lives. And even if their life is not the same as it was before in any way, because my son did get very, very lucky. Okay, I'm not going to say just because I got on my hands and knees and prayed to God, that's the reason why my son survived. I will say that I truly believe, had I not done that, and I didn't ask a lot of people for prayers and to bring that support for me, to be next to him, to give him that love the entire time, and to let him know I was there. Like, it took that whole thing. It's a whole village of things going on. So I don't want anyone to come back to me and be like, because I already know what people say, that, oh, just because you pray doesn't mean. No, I didn't say exactly that, but I am saying that's a huge factor. The prayers in itself for other people to have been with me on that journey. I started a Facebook group in regards to that, which I'll also share with anyone. Actually, I'll share it today. So if y'all go follow me on Facebook, it's Smith and ANNJESS backwards on Facebook. And that's because I was protecting myself, y'all.
Gotcha.
Whenever I was, and it worked, but now they won't let me change it because I'm verified on Facebook, and now they're like, oh, you can't change it now, that's your name. Okay.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so that blue check matters. It's very, very conducive, especially to this business, especially, or anything, honestly, because everybody's a scammer. I feel like it's just so, like we were talking about how hard it is in the industry. That in itself is huge problem. Huge. Pray
It
for us
is.
for that, please.
Gotcha. And it is. And we know the industry is competitive. We're in the competitive industry, as you say. Everybody wants to be known. Everybody wants to be seen. And I believe when we are here in the world of social media, as they say, people say content creators, where they want to call it. But it's all about putting out something positive that people can relate to, that they can learn from, be inspired from, and be motivated. Because we know we have a lot of junk out there in the world. We know we have a lot of junk on social media. And we have a few people who are bringing great information. We have people who are bringing great resources. We have people bringing great ideas. We have people bringing things that would challenge you in a good way, and say, no, yeah, I need to improve in this area. Yeah, I need to come up in this area. And that's what it's all about, that, hey, we want to see the better version of you. We want you to walk in your purpose. We want you to become who God created you to be. And I say this all the time on the show. we were not created to be a waste. So don't let nobody tell you that you are a waste or that you was a mistake or things like that. You was born with greatness. You were born with purpose. God put you here in the earth for a reason. That's to represent Him as we were supposed to. But also, you want like just be the better version of yourself. And that's what it's all about. And representing, making an impact and impacting those along the way and helping those along the way, help them find their path in life. Because everybody are looking for answers. They want to know what I'm born here for, what I'm doing here for, what is my purpose, where I'm supposed to go, where I'm supposed to be. They look for this person, look for that person. They get all bad information that messes them all up. And we have people now who are forcing their experiences on other people. So now you're putting fears in other people too as well. Well, some person, well, I want to be successful. Well, yeah, I did that before, it didn't work. So if you're not careful, you're listening to what they're saying. Oh, wow. If that happened to them, that's gonna happen to me too. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, okay, now you have to listen what they saying, but also find your own path. If that makes sense.
Right.
Well, I'm just
Right.
put everything together because we know that
Balance
people
and
always look for answers. I'll go
everything.
ahead.
Balance and everything, like you were saying, you were like, well, it's kind of, so it's just really like knowing who your people are. Do they genuinely have your best interest? And if they do, then listen, and if not, then you need to move around. So that's really what I would say to any of that. And yeah, I think just having a personal relation, no, I know having a personal relationship with God, your own, and however that looks is enough to keep someone grounded enough to at least do right in the world. Maybe they're not living their purpose. Maybe they don't know that yet. Maybe they think it's one thing and they need to be redirected, but as long as you're seeking answers and learning every day, I feel like everyone does evolve and realize that, again, whatever it looks like, whatever your God looks like, it should look at least like some morals. Okay. So at the very least. And so I think that's all I can really guide anyone in that direction. And so I had thought about, how do I help kids that are going to come to us for the music that are going to be talking about this? And I'm like, yay, that's what we have Nikki Heath for. Because, she's just like a fully grounded Christian woman, works with kids every day. As a matter of fact, she's teaching now, or doing vocal lessons with one of our other musicians with Shine Agency. And so I manage her, but she's, we both got things going on. And so we've joined forces together basically at this point, and have brought many ideas and are helping many people already. And it's very exciting. And so Nikki, thank you for tuning in, and love you again too, by the way. Y'all go
Man,
follow
awesome.
her.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all follow Nikki. She's on Facebook, so y'all make sure y'all go follow her. Like so we
Christian
had on the show.
contemporary music is one of
Yeah.
her.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And that's what it's all about. And being outside the box. That's what it's all about. Always being outside the box. Being creative. You mentioned, I like the word involve. We are supposed to evolve because I'm be honest with you. I'm working to making myself. And I say I'm working to making. I'm always looking at ways to get better. I'm always looking at ways to overcome. I'm always looking at ways to master things because that's what we're supposed to do. We say it's like we learn our identity. Scripture talks about royalty. I'm just putting out there. It tells us in Revelation chapter 1 verse 6. I hope I'm saying that right. It lets us know that we are king. He calls us to be kings and priests in the earth. It talks about being a royal priesthood. Royalty, knowing your identity, and that's what a lot of people don't have not grasped yet. Knowing your identity. We've been labeled so bad by this world. We've been labeled as you being weird. You being labeled as being strange. You being labeled as being uh, mentally challenged. I'm just throwing words out there. But these labels that been bestowed upon people that actually believe these things, then when you come and bring something different to them, it's like, wow, I didn't look at it that way. Yeah, you're very unique. God made you unique in your own special way. We're different. We all different. Our fingerprint lets us know that we're different. So we're not the same, but we're different. But then also when you inspire someone in your circles, like, wow, that really changed my life. And I know you're in the business, Jay, of saving lives, and Nikki as well, because you never know what an individual is dealing with. You never know what the individual may be going through. And we know that the suicide rates are high. We know all this stuff is going on. But have you ever thought about that? Else, being in the business of ministering to other people, with bringing out positivity, that they come to you and say, "Hey, I'm glad you put this together because this helped change my life. I was contemplating taking my life. I heard what you said, or I heard Nikki do a song that really changed my life." Have you had individuals ever come up to you and say, "Hey, thank you for the work that you're doing, because it really helped change me in what you're doing"?
I definitely have, specifically in part, it's to do with music. Usually it always evolves around that, but I'm not the musician, right? So
Right.
yes, I could be if I wanted to, but I'm not. It takes so much energy, so much work. Kudos to all my musicians, all of y'all. They work so hard. But anyway, just going back to what you were saying is I've had people come to me and be like, well, I see what you're doing for this musician over here, and man, even if they don't do music, it could be a fan, it could be, someone who wanted to do it and they didn't do it, and they kind of felt like I did. So there has been a lot of that, and I'm grateful for those people because it has helped me keep wanting to do it for sure. I keep me motivated to do it, because if no one gives you that feedback at all, right, then it's kind of hard to be like, okay, is this really my purpose, and is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this going to fulfill me? Because at the end of the day, you also need to fulfill yourself in some way. And yes, people are going to be like, you're living through the musicians. In a way, a little bit, yes, that's true. I'm not going to deny that. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as I have their best interest in mind and I'm treating them more than fair, then that's what matters. And like, they all are super unique. If you go look at our roster, they all do different styles of music, yet they can blend it. Speaking of blending, we're doing a concert November 30th, Saturday, November 30th in Fort Worth at the Wrigley Theater. So all of my musicians, most of them, will be on stage that night. So we're doing a full-on concert with that. Tickets are super affordable. The theater is amazing. Check it out if y'all don't know about that yet.
Well, it's my first time hearing about it. So hey, this my first time hearing about it. So hey, I'm still kind of new to Texas. I only been here December 18th will make it 4 years. So
Okay.
I'm still new here. So it's like,
well, I have to make sure to send you direct invites then.
That'll work, because I said,
okay,
because this is a big state. This is a very big state, and it's a big city. So hey, I'm learning everything, but I'm excited about it, and I'm just excited about what God sent me here to do, and I'm just excited about it. Before we go any further, Nancy and Jay, we're gonna play a music video, and after that, we're gonna be right back with our Q&A conversation.
On my wagon, if you're gonna
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here on the Walking This Way's Impact Boys podcast. Big shout out to Uncle Rhino. Matter of fact, Uncle Rhino will be on the show, I think next week. I think so. That was his music video, so he will be on the show next week. I'm talking about his music as well. So I'm looking forward to having Uncle Rhino here on Walking This Way. So he will be joining us next week. So I'm looking forward to it. So big shout out to Uncle Rhino as well. Big shout out to Cynthia. She the one connected Uncle Rhino with me to be on the show. So hey, we appreciate the connect. We appreciate the music videos, and we do play music videos here on the show. So you have artists, Jay, that wants to showcase their music video. Hey, we be glad to play it here on the show. And that's what it's all about. It's all about helping each other, iron sharpen iron. It takes a village, they say, to raise children. It takes a village to raise all of us up and help us get to that place where God wants us to be at. So but that's what we're all about in the show. You mentioned something about involving, and I'm very big on involving. I really am. Like I said, becoming a better version of yourself, especially when you're doing these shows. We want to make sure we're putting out the best content out there possible. And I'll be honest with you, I don't go back and look at the videos. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't go back and look at the videos at all. Some things they be good, but I never go back and look at them. But I look at some clips, and I want to work on stop saying Yeah, people be talking. That was and I don't like that. And I look. That's why I don't like looking at some of these videos because I don't want to be Because when you said and I looked that up too. When we say you're not sure what you're saying. So if I struggle with saying I have to take a deep breath.
I just want you to know you haven't been doing it this time.
I used to do it bad, and I looked at and that's not good because it's like you don't know what you're talking about. And I looked at other platform, and they talk straight through.
Yeah,
but I appreciate you for saying how you didn't know I didn't say it, but anyway, enough about that. Nancy, you want to?
Well, I'm not gonna say for sure. I'm gonna go look back and look at this whole thing and be like, oh wait, he did. No, I'm just kidding. But you did. You haven't did it a lot or anything like that I noticed at all. I really noticed.
Yeah, because I look at
it makes me get lost. If you did that, I would get lost.
Yeah, he'd be like, this dude don't know what he's talking about. You got like you said, think about what he got to say next.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nancy, you want to chime in?
I got nothing to say. You haven't said it today or that I've noticed. So,
well, I appreciate the honesty and the feedback. I just look at some of them old videos we used to do, and I said, But anyway, I Google that, and it was explaining you not to say well, teaching not to say but it's a process because it comes from. Well, I'm gonna say what it comes from. You know, a lot of stuff when we growing up. You ever been around people who so apologetic? You ever been around people like that when they say something? Oh, I'm sorry. We're like, why you? Because I came across a guy like that one time, and he would always say, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Sorry for what?" "Oh, I'm sorry." But that come from childhood trauma.
The trauma. I did have that problem.
Right, and that's where they come from. But because people, I'm sorry. Why are you sorry for? Because they come from childhood where they said something, did something. Every time they said something, they would either get fussed at. So when they come to interact with people, talking to people, they always, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry." You're like, no.
Say what you mean. Say what you chest.
Right. Yeah. Say that's it. But let's talk about this. Well, originally you are from what? West Texas, correct?
Yes, I was born in San Angelo, but I lived there about 9 months of my life, and then moved to Dallas, and I lived there my whole life until I hit 40, and moved to Killeen, Texas, right outside of Austin, which is the military town here in Texas. And anyway, I moved there to help my son. His running around doing stuff he wanted to do was not. Dallas is not the place to be doing that. So, he thought he was invincible after he survived. Okay, so and I kind of had a feeling that's where that was going to go. I was preparing for everything. I was like, he thinks he's going to be like Superman for real when he comes out. He was already thinking that. So I was like, I know what I'm asking for, but I'd rather have that than that, please, just help me so I can survive my life, really, genuinely. It wasn't just, I mean, I'm just being real. Like, it was about me too. It was about
Right.
me too. I was like, I can't live without my son. Like, for real. That's just how I felt. And I know that's really not a way for you to feel. It's like, yes, would I have gotten over, not over, excuse me. See, I don't even know how to explain that one. All I'm saying is, yes, I would have lived here and stayed living, but it would not have been in my mind. Still, I can say right now, a life worth living for me. And so I knew that I
Shout out to
needed to at
David.
least beg for and pray for him just to be here and just to have a chance again, a chance at his life, for me to say, okay, I did everything I could, and we got there, and I'll do everything else it's going to take to kind of give us a reset. So yeah, it was a lot of pleading, a lot of reasoning, and trying to think of, like, what is the best case scenario? Is he going to probably do the same stuff what he just did and how he got here when he comes out? Probably. And so that's kind of what happened. And so anyway, I had to move to Killeen, uproot my life again. I had moved to Oklahoma for a little bit briefly. That's how that all happened. And then anyway, now I'm in Waco. So I moved from Killeen. I'm actually in the process of moving to Waco now from Killeen to get closer back to Dallas. But Dallas is just too much for me. I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. I'm 45 years old. I'm like, look, I'm really set in my ways. And I'm really, I've really gotten to be this good role model that I need to stick with that
Right.
and not be like cussing somebody out at the gas station or fighting with somebody or something. Like, I just get out of that. People pressing me all the time. I do have a temper. I will say that.
Right. Well, you look great for your age, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir.
And that's what it's all about, being youthful, mindset. I imagine the industry that you're in, you have to be active. So that keeps you going as well.
Mm-hmm.
And your schedule, how do you maintain your schedule? Because what you do, I can know be very, very productive. Going here, going there, making calls, making connects. So how do you balance all that out? And how do you get some sleep in? Because I know people say, how do you sleep? Do you ever sleep?
I bet Nikki is laughing right now about that one. So I call it shift sleepers. We're shift sleepers. You're gonna have to learn how to do the power napping if you ain't got that down already, which she probably already did, like, way long ago, because she also is and she is a coach for basketball. I don't know if she'd mentioned that. I don't think she got into any of that on the interview. So anyway,
Not
she
really.
works with kids all day, and she's doing the coaching. She's just bouncing around way more than I am, and that's why I'm looking at her like, whoa. I can't keep up with you, girl. Like, I'll do what I can over here, but yes, I definitely have to do shift sleeping, making it a priority. If I wake up too early, which is also a habit when I've got, like, I'm super excited or I feel like there's a lot to do and I need to get it done. It's like my mind don't want to go to sleep. Like, I all the things I put on the water sound, so I'm like, stay asleep in my REM sleep for at least the 4 hours. Like, it's really deep.
I can believe prayer. I can believe it. Oh, I can believe it because I know how it is. Because people ask me all the time, "Do you sleep?" Because I'm always up. Well, I work at night. Technically, I work at night, which I got off this morning at 6:30. Did a show at 11. I got to get my haircut this afternoon by 12:50. Come on home, take me a nap, and I got to go back to work tonight at 10. And I'm working a double, so I'm doing 16 hours. Mind you, from 10 tonight to 2:30 the next day, get off, sleep about 4 hours. Well, I don't even sleep 4 hours. I probably at least sleep about 3 hours. Get right back up, do it all over again. And that's how my schedule run. And then it's so much stuff you have to do and so much stuff you have to accomplish. It's like, okay, I got to get it done. I got to get it done because nobody's not going to do it for me. So I got to get it done and stay healthy. And that's my role. I mean, keep God first, of course. Stay healthy. That plays a role. Make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you're taking your vitamins. Make sure you're eating clean. That's going to keep you going because I make sure I got my green tea with me, honey with me in my bag when I go to work because green tea is healthy for you. Make sure I take my vitamins. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Stay hydrated. Take care of your temple, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of your
All of
bodies.
those, for sure. Definitely play a huge factor, and protect your energy, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Don't let people get you out of your character. Like if you even feel yourself going there, just be like, nope, I'm better than that, and just move around. Thank you, God, for giving you that patience in that moment, and just
And that's it. You know, so I'm going to piggyback on
you'll
that
train
too.
yourself to, yeah.
Right, and I want to piggyback on what you were saying too, Jay, as well. Don't tell everybody everything. When I say don't tell everybody everything, you're working on something, and I know that's
Keep it
human
to
nature.
yourself.
Yeah, you do, and I know that's human nature. We get so excited, we want to share our accomplishments, we want to share our goals, but you're gonna have individuals who gonna come and tell you, "Hey, it don't take all that. Make sure you get this in. Make sure you get that in. Don't remember to have good intent. Don't get me wrong, some of them, but just be mindful of what you set out to do, because when Jesus said the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak, that is so true. The flesh is weak, the spirit is willing. And don't tell everybody everything, because everybody don't have your best interest. Be honest with you, some people don't even want you to see it at all. They want you to fail. Some people think you ain't gonna last long anyway, but you keep doing what you're doing. You know what's purpose in your heart to do. And don't tell everybody everything, because everybody don't understand. They don't want to understand. They will try to block you. They will rain on your parade. They will make you feel bad. They'll make you doing too much. And nah, just keep doing what you have to do. Because even Jesus told Mary and he told Joseph, if you have known, I have to be about my father's business. And Jesus said it at 12 years old. We're in our 40s. Say the same thing. You gotta be about your father's business. That's all. Nancy, you have anything you want to say? Want to piggyback in? Throw in?
You're right not to share your stuff with anybody. Sometimes people don't have your best interests at heart, or sometimes they'll steal your ideas. So you just gotta keep them to yourself until you get
Until
it
you're ready to
rolling.
launch. Or until you own whatever it is that you're about to share. But yeah,
Right,
sure.
right. Yeah, most definitely. So get copyrights done.
Mm-hmm.
Make if you can't afford it, start working towards it. I tell anybody.
There's grants.
Right.
If you can't afford something, no matter what it is, do some research and look into it and see if there is some kind of help out there for you. Speaking of musicians that are listening to this now, y'all can go get grants for people to help you get someone like me to represent you, for example.
Right, and that because I know that's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of research, and it's real timing.
It's
So
actually
what?
really not.
It's really not
No.
okay. But let me ask you this too: what?
I think what it really is knowing how to research. Is sometimes you don't know what to ask. And so just, maybe learning like something like that to ask right now would be, you go into Google and DFW musicians grants, type it in, that simple, keep it simple, and it'll bring up at least specifically what you asked it to.
Okay.
So I would say that.
But what advice would you give someone who's interested in getting into this industry? What advice would you give them?
Well, as a musician,
Overall,
overall advice for anyone wanting to get into entertainment for any reason, whether it be music, actor, model, or you want to be on executive side, just make sure that your intentions are pure and you know what you're going in this for and that you're passionate about it, because otherwise you'll fall flat. The success will not come. Success takes consistency and time and time again having someone get in your inbox and say, hey, you really saved me with that, what you said. You helped me with this. If you have people saying that you should feel that you are doing what your purpose is. And yeah, especially now and this time with entertainment, no one's playing around no more, and everyone's got cameras. So you have to have pure and good intentions to want to be in it, and not just be about money. Nothing should be just about that. Although it takes money, right, in the world we live in, but at the same time, it doesn't take you, 5 times the amount of one person's needs. You don't need 5 times that.
right.
So I still, but that's a whole nother story. Let me calm down.
Oh man, you good? Hey, you good, Jay? You very good. What do you look for in a potential client? Because I know that reputation is important. I know your name is important because it is gonna make you or break you. So, what are the main things you look for when it comes to taking on a new client?
At the most basic level,
Yeah.
character and potential. You have good, genuine character. I can get to know you via whether it's social media and or in a conversation like this. If we speak a few times, 3 good times of speaking to someone for at least 45 minutes or more is going to tell you a lot about that person. If they can carry on a conversation, if they can, just so many things. And so yeah, it takes genuine conversation and to do all that. But definitely character is everything. I've always said that, but the thing is I've gotten better at figuring out who is being genuine for sure, and how to go about doing that with also being genuine and not interrogating anyone. So it's been a process for sure, but I've definitely gotten much better at it. Case in point, Nikki Heath. She's definitely someone I would say, like, if I wanted someone to, who would you put up first to represent character wise? It's because her wisdom, her expertise, everything she has under her belt, accolades wise, whether it has to do with music and or you know being in the school district in Frisco. It's a very good school district over there, and it they have 15 high schools. That's just blows my mind. So that just tells you something. That community grew like real fast, and it's a great community. I used to live in that area in Carrollton, DFW, in the DFW Metroplex, but in Dallas, there's a lot of outskirt places.
It
So,
is.
like so many. And so, yeah, that area is definitely one of them and has boomed. And her making an impact in that community is everything. I mean, because she represents so many things.
Right.
And so, yeah, she would definitely be like someone I would, and even down to our youngest, Asa. He's a guitarist. He does music with his father in his band, but right now we're propelling him to go solo, always with his dad doing music still. That'll always be in his bag, but he's trying to make this something also for his long-term career in life. And he's moving from back to Austin from Kentucky,
Okay.
and so he'll be here in January. So he'll already have, some shows and things to go to and gigging and whatnot. But the best thing about this young man is he's very, you could just say he's kind, he's respectful, he's humble, just all the things you would want in a young man or a young lady to help guide them so that
Right.
you can. So someone who listens, and not just, does what he's told or what you tell him to do, hey, you need to do this, so that you can get here. But if he doesn't understand, he'll ask, well, why? He wants to know. And so that's like one of the best students you could have. And that is the boy, that young man that Nikki is doing vocal coaching with. And then we have KPT. He's the rapper. You go look at him and you could tell this dude's humble. He's funny. He's a good dad. He wants somebody who's loyal to love him back. Like just all the things in a person that you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's a cool dude. Rose, she's a vet tech. That just tells you a lot right there. She loves little animals, and she takes care of animals, and she's just a good human all around. Her soulful music, when you listen to her R&B stuff, you can tell right then and there and be like, this girl know what love is, So it's just those things, they all matter. So
Yeah,
I
okay,
hope
that's
I
very
mentioned all of
important.
y'all.
Well, because we know that's important. Like you said, the character, just being consistent overall. Because character is everything. I'm just gonna biblical for a moment. Jesus said, "By their fruits you shall know them." Just by how somebody carry themselves. People that keep talking for so long, eventually they're gonna tell on themselves. So you just gotta keep
That's
listening.
why I said
Eventually,
that 45 minutes or more,
yep.
at least 3 times.
Right, they gonna tell them themselves. So we know their character is important, and we know their work ethic is important too. As well, also, it's like I can help you, but at the same time, I need you to help yourself also as well. Have you ever dealt with people in the past like that? Like, okay, I'm gonna push you, but I need you to push yourself. Have you had people who you doing all the pushing, but they're just sitting on their loins?
Yes, most definitely have had that. They kind of just expect their talent and you maybe sharing a few of their posts or, doing the most basic stuff in the beginnings, doing your end of the work, but then you're not getting what you need back from them to do the work and or they're not helping push it, etc. Yes. So it's most definitely a lot of that. It's like, okay, you don't have to be a social media guru or you don't have to get on live every day, but mix it up, figure out what works for you, help me help you. And yes, if I come across that I'm having to do too much of that I'll ghost you in a second because I don't have the energy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
If I have to explain to you that I need you to help me help you, then now we have a problem already. Like that's frustrating beyond. But at the same time, some people don't realize. So I do give, in the beginning a lot, right? I had a lot of that. I'll say John Lewis, I will give him a shout out regardless of any past things. Like not every relationship works out in these, even if it's good, like it ends up good and fine, but there's a reason why you don't go back and work with certain people, right? And that's fine. But I'm never ever going to discount some work that someone did and the talent that they do have regardless of that. So I will always speak about any musicians that I've worked in the past that actually are still moving, and doing good works, at least with their talent. I don't know what they're going on in their personal life, so I'll say that. But John Lewis is a good musician. He is. He's got a great voice. He has great potential, and he's still moving and doing great things. He's just came out in People magazine. He's done a bunch of things. BET, I think he did a BET where they do the new and upcoming artists, and they have them perform.
Okay.
On the outside, going in.
Right. I think it's what they call it, the cipher. I think they call it. I may be wrong, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So they, they do things like that, and so he's been, so he's moving on up, and steadily, and we were working together for, almost 3 years. Put a lot of work and investment into that, and at the end of the day, I stepped aside, and I wish him nothing but the best. I want him to, definitely win. But at the end of the day, you can only work with people that really align with what it is that you're trying to do. And that's where now I have the people that I do have, and I'm very, very grateful for them. They do have great work ethic. Not that he didn't. I'm not saying anything. Like I said, at the end of the day, you just know when you can't work with someone, it's not aligning,
Right.
Case in point, when I said character, I meant character, not image. I don't care what you put online. What I need to know is what are you doing behind the scenes in the streets, hanging out with these people after the show's over. What happened? Because now I got people coming up here, you know what I mean? Now they're coming to me looking at me crazy. You don't really know your musician. So those kind of things I have to be real careful. It's like I need to know what are their usual schedules. What do they like to do? How often do they like to party? Is that going to interfere? All the things. Are you in a relationship where they've been supporting you for a while and they really, really genuinely support you, or is there some underlying issues there? I literally have to think about everything because I've been through so many things since 2017. I started this officially, and managing musicians. So it definitely all matters.
It makes a lot of sense. On overall, it makes a lot of sense on what you're doing. Character is important. Like you say, it's all about character, not image. And I know the old saying is, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So we know that's very important.
Right.
Conversations are very important. Like I know, because I know a lot of times it's in the industry that you're in, you always gonna go check on their social media. Like let me see your social media because I want to see what you're posting. I want to see what kind of pictures you're putting up before I actually could decide to work with you. Because the one, I got to protect my name, I got to protect my image. Because they see me associated with you, they assume that I'm doing the same thing you're doing. So I understand totally what you're saying.
Right. The birds of the feather,
Flock
together.
I've heard that my whole life, and I was the one saying, whatever. I'm like Jesus. I'm gonna let anybody sit at my table. Blah blah blah. Well, guess what? The table has changed. I just no, I can't do it like that no more. I mean, I did, and that's how I earned my stripes, though. Okay, so I would never take nothing back from what I did, but I will say it taught me so much, and I'm very grateful for all of it, even all the pain, the sweat, the broken bones, the blood. Like, there's been some stuff happened to me in this industry. I've been attacked, all kinds of things. And this is literally based on either jealousy and or they just didn't like the critique I gave, you know, which was what I was there to do as a judge. Case in point, you know, it's just like, dang, like, okay, so I can't go around these circles, or I have to make sure the venue has like tight security. You know, so it's a lot of stuff. So that is also one of the reasons why I started running my own events. I was like, oh, I need to make sure this, you know, all the things. So we do that too. We do the marketing. So we do pretty much everything, especially now that I joined forces with Nikki. Now we literally have almost everything. And if we don't have it yet, we will find it.
Man, that's
like the merch. I was finding out what, you know, trying to find what was the best avenues for the artists to start, you know, working towards a budget for merchandise and just do like something small batch in the beginning. And I'm like, this is some crazy amount of money. And so anyway, yeah, I just went and bought the machine that does the hats and the shirts and was like, I'm doing it. I don't care. I figured out I just save them money, save me money, you know, another investment, but that'll reap profits, hopefully for at least or to replenish what we're spending.
Right. Most definitely. Yeah, I agree on that. So I know you represent artists. So who else would you be representing? I know you're doing music artist wise. Do you have any other people in mind that you want to start working with, representing in other venues?
Yes, actually, so definitely working on venues at this time. Texas Music Cafe in Waco is the current venue that I work with on a regular basis and push as a brand, not as like their promoter, which I wouldn't care if they said promoter. I used to not like that word so much. So I was like, wait, I don't work at a club, you know, because that's really what people, how they look at you. And I'm like, no, I don't work at a club. I mean, I will run in a showcase at a club, but not a, you know, yeah. But going back to, I'm sorry, what did you ask me again?
Oh, I would ask, I know you represent artists. Are there any other?
Yes, that's right. So
yeah.
I definitely got distracted just now. That was a bird. I'm confident. No, but so definitely comedians. I would really love to have a comedian on my roster, and an actor and actress. Have worked with actors and actresses before. KPT, also Rose, technically have done some acting. Nikki said she's down for that too. So I'm like, okay, y'all are all, you know, universal, can do all this stuff. And I'm like, if there's someone that primarily has that as a focus, like, please, you know, basically submit to our website. By the way, it is shineagencyreps.pro.com. No. shineagencyreps.pro. Almost give y'all the email. So shineagencyreps.pro. So not .com, but .pro.
.pro.
At any rate, yeah, so we definitely are accepting for that. I've worked with several models. I started as a model. Again, I was into fashion. I was into just all kinds of stuff that was in that world that had to do with art, entertainment, culture, music, everything, painting, all the things. So I actually took art history in college. It was one of my, definitely my, you know, I had intentions. I wasn't sure exactly how I was going to use it. I just knew. I was like, somehow I'm going to be in business and music somehow. I'll just figure it out. And so that's kind of what led me to do that when I did. And I was a single mom at the time. So I went to college for like 5 years just to get an associate's degree. But it's because I was having to go part-time the whole time.
Right.
I had 3 kids. So yeah, it was tough, but it was so worth it. I learned a lot on how to raise my kids. So if anyone ever says college was a waste, they just weren't paying attention, I think.
Because you was determined. You were determined on succeeding in life. You know what you wanted, and you knew what it had to take to get there. And I applaud you. So I give you your flowers for that, because that was determination. Because some people can't do it. Some people throw in the towel. But once you know what you want, when they say once you put your mind to it, you know exactly what you want and you accomplish it. So that's a blessing all by itself. as well also. And I know we're pressed for time. I know we're about to get off here. It is the afternoon hour, of course. Before we leave, Jay, do you have any, well, go ahead and plug in your social media site. And after that, I'm gonna ask you have any final words of wisdom you want to share. Before I ask you that, go ahead and plug in all your social media emails. How can people get in contact with you, get updates on what's going on?
Definitely the best way to get in contact with us is to go to the website. You'll find everything there, down to the email, the phone number, and all social medias. So all the link trees to me and all my socials, as well as all of our musicians. So yeah, definitely the best place to go, which I'm very happy about that. We're still working on it and making it better, but I think it's pretty great already. Shine Agency Reps.pro. Yeah.
Hey,
I was like,
hey, that sums it up. So y'all go to the site, get all the information you need today. Just head on over that day. Whenever you want to head on over there today, get all the information that you need. Awesome work, awesome stuff, and I appreciate you, and I applaud you, and thank you for hanging out with me and Nancy this afternoon before we leave. But before I ask you this, any words of advice, any signs of wisdom that you want to share here with the audience, as we're live streaming from Facebook all the way to Instagram to right now, till they listen in the near future.
So yeah, so this will be up for life. It's on YouTube, right? And
Right.
we're on lives. So for sure, my words of wisdom. I gave a little, tidbits throughout this. So to not repeat myself, I will say, the main piece of wisdom I can give right now in this moment is to always know who your people are, and if they don't feel like they're not your people, and when I say this, can you trust them? Make sure you can. If you don't feel that you can't, then you need to stay away from them. This can be very dangerous. It has hurt many children. And I do also advocate for helping find missing children and sex trafficking victims. Those are also things that I have been very heavily involved in. And so that would be know who you're talking to. You don't know who you're talking to if you met them online.
I agree. So be careful out there. You got online predators out there. So be very, very careful. Like you said, who you talk to.
Yeah,
Since you have children
with them, make them get on FaceTime with you. Like, do all
right.
the things. You can meet someone online. Don't get me wrong. That's how we all met. But find out who you're talking to and really get them on the phone. If they don't want to have a real conversation, especially if it's going to be your man or your lady for 45 minutes, then they're not your person.
Right. That's it. Hey, hey, you out there. Be careful out there, be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. If you meet someone online, make sure y'all meet in a public place. I'm gonna say that again. Make sure y'all meet in a public place. Like I said, with security, because you got some weirdos out there, male and female. If you have someone that said they want to come to your house, that's a red flag because you don't know me. I don't know you. Not coming to my house. If you're going on dates, if you're dating, do the same thing. Y'all meet in a public place. Back in the day, you could go pick up the girl. Back in the day, that when everything was safe. But don't do that no more either. We meet in separate cars. If I take somebody out, we meet in separate cars. I drive my car, you drive your car. So if it don't work out, we go our separate ways. Right. Or we do leave, we go our separate ways. I don't need because we're not like that. That's a whole nother show. Well, we'll talk about that another show.
Right. We'll just have to do a part 2, y'all.
Yeah, because be careful out there. When you're doing business, be careful when you're doing business with. If you got somebody asking you for, I don't like that. I'm glad you brought that up. We got to talk about that again, too. These predators that's out there.
The entertainment industry is just so oversaturated with this kind of behavior. So I see it all the time, even in people that they do know each other. And I'm like, just it's crazy. So it's like, okay, well, at the very least, really get to know them before you hop in their ride, before you, go have a drink with this person, because you just don't know what's going to happen. So
yeah, I had people on the show before Nancy came back to the show, and I had some people I was interviewing that are in like the unit doing acting, in the movie industry or whatever. And it's some real life predators out there. They even said they've been propositioned before by both male and female.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it
in this
doesn't matter.
industry.
You could be a whole female, and another female can come up to you and either lure you to a bad situation, and or they're the bad situation. You know, you
Right.
thought that y'all are just hanging out to be friends. So when I say meeting somebody, I'm even talking down to, yeah, meeting another girl. I see groups all the time saying, "Hey, let's all of us ladies go meet up." You know, so and so, and I'm like, who is getting in a big old group of people that y'all just met online like that? Yeah,
And
don't even
Right.
don't
know
drink
stuff.
anything they offer you. Make sure you don't drink no drinks they offer you.
That.
I agree.
Buy your
I
own
agree.
drink. Go with your own
Buy your
money.
own thing.
Yeah, be careful
Go
out
with your
there
own
because
money.
yeah, be careful out there. Guys too. You know, you got guys out there who lure in other men too. So you gotta be
Yes,
careful
same.
out there. Cause I
You
know a
just
lot of
never know.
time.
There's so
Uh,
many scams and so many ways to do things to people. They could just be trying to rob you. It could just be
right,
anything, you know, not down
right.
to sexual assault only. But yes, are people being killed and sexually assaulted or taken for sex trafficking? What we're talking about? Yes,
Yeah.
heavily, you know, especially in the industry that, you know, like I said, I see stuff after hours, right? That it's time. I'm tired. I'm not the late night out and going late, but if I have to drive far, I'm seeing stuff late at night again. And I was like, oh, I forgot about this. And I know this, you know, but I'm always on guard. My dad taught me so much stuff. I'm half and half Latina and white. My dad, Mexican, he taught me how to fight. When I bring this up, it's because of the way our culture is. The Mexican culture is just like, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. You're gonna learn all the same. I'm gonna teach y'all all the same. Y'all gonna get punished the same. Like all the things, all the things. One's in trouble, you're all in trouble. You know. So yeah, it was a, for me, kind of like, I don't know, being raised like a boy. That's what people would say. But to me, I didn't look at it that way. I was like, yo, I know how to protect myself. Like I'm good if I, you know, someone, as long as I'm being attacked from the front, as long as I see it coming. Now, obviously there's all the other stuff. And that's what we're talking about now is like, you don't see stuff coming from, even like you could have a best friend for like a year.
Yeah.
You know, you're thinking like, this is one of my best friends. I've really gotten this close, and you trust them. And then come to find out that they were really preying on you the whole time. Like a bunch of
Exactly.
situations like that. And I'm almost 45, and that happened to me recently. You know, and I realized, oh, it's because I'm attracting people that like want to
Right.
be involved in this industry. They're not involved in this industry, but they
Mm,
like that glitz and glamour, even though I'm not really the one on stage. If anything, they're thinking that it's better for them. You know, we're backstage, or we get to, you know, so it's definitely a whole thing.
yeah. So that's another thing too. It just came to mind too, and I was not even thinking about this, and this came to mind too. We have to be mindful what we put our locations at. And I don't know why that just came out of nowhere. We have to be very mindful of putting our location because
Don't do
people
it
that
all the time.
are obsessed with you can actually find you.
Yes.
You got, and we forget about that too. You got people that's very, very, I mean, obsessed with you.
Yes. I've definitely been stalked for this. I had to stop putting I didn't realize my location was being shared on Snapchat.
Oh,
And
really?
hmm and it's because I didn't know. I didn't know that there was a button. You got to go to those settings and make sure it's unclicked and whatnot. So at first, when I first started using it, at first I didn't want to use it because I was like, that's for cheaters and that's for this and all this thing, you know. So I didn't want to. Well, then I finally started using it. I'm like an old lady trying to use something that's for kids, you know, whatever. And I had that on, and somebody was like, so I saw you were over here. And I was like, wait, what? How do you know that? So I had to figure it out. Like, how were they figuring that out? Yes, on some of them I'll give kudos to this place, but even at that time, not till after. I would go back and give a review later. So it was like, wait, how are they figuring this out? Well, you know, I had location on there and I didn't know. So that was definitely been a huge thing that I've been speaking on in regards to because of that. I've also been, you know, stalked by a supposed friend or somebody I wouldn't say a friend. I keep saying friend. That term is so loosely. It's just
It
easier to
is.
say, right? An acquaintance, I was trying to help her. She became jealous of a situation, didn't like what was going on, and got mad at me. And I didn't realize her anger would go that far. In my mind, I'm always thinking these people have to be on drugs or something. You know, like they can't get that mad for that, you know, but I have seen it a lot of times in this industry. Yes. If they feel like you're getting in the way of their ticket, you are definitely on their target board. So,
Oh, jealousy cruise to the grave. Jealousy is cruel to the grave, but you have to be careful. They go for all of us. We have to be careful out here because we think people are for us and they're not for us. I want to say people, individuals, they're not for us. And so we have to be mindful where we go, what we say, what we do. That go for me too. Be mindful of your location. We quit the tag. I'm at such and such place, and you just never know who has it out for you. And I'm saying
Right.
you're not going around starting things, but like you said,
right.
jealousy.
It could be, yeah, it could just be that, or literally, and it's jealousy to be like, somebody's like, why would I be jealous of something? It can be like, no, you might not have been jealous of me until this very moment that so and so said such and such, and you didn't even know me, but you have this going on with. So it happens all the time. They can say that, you're just like, okay, well, until you know the real story about everything and how those, it all lined up. Because somebody'd be like, how could she be jealous of you? She didn't even know you. Well, she knew me 5 minutes ago to come over here swinging. So
Wow.
so it happened in just minutes. Things like that do happen all the time everywhere. I even as a young, woman in my 20s, before I got into this business, I was, would go into restaurant, bar, and grills. I've never been a clubber. I don't like clubs. But I would
Right.
go to restaurant, grill, and bars and hang out with my friends there for their birthdays or this or that. And so I would pop in for that type of stuff for like celebrations. But always the one in the corner. I forget what that song is. She's like, she goes to hang out with her girls and she's the one sitting in the corner watching everybody. That's me. So that would be me most of the time, even though it would seem like, I'll talk like this for a few minutes, but then, now I'm just keeping game because I'm trying to protect myself and, who I'm with. But even still then I had, people attack me, and they didn't even technically meet me. Their man was looking at me. I don't know how
Mm.
many times that has happened. That happened in school a lot too. So it's just sad. Like, pretty girls have it tough too, right, Mom? We have it too. People act like we just got it so easy and our life is just so much easier because, we get this and we can get that. And like, not so much, I think we just make enemies a lot faster, and we are not even doing anything but existing. So,
And then I know you got weirdo guys out there too. You have weirdos. I see a lot of them be posting how guys be calling them on Messenger and they don't even know
oh
them,
yeah, that's definitely a thing. They
sending
just don't.
perverted
I don't understand.
pictures of themselves to women. These guys are bold doing that.
I think it's a cultural thing, to be honest with you, because well, not even just that. I mean, there are a couple that I would say, okay, yes, in Dallas, Texas, they did do that too. But on a regular basis, it's always the ones that are calling from another country. And I'm just like,
Oh
why do
yeah.
you think this is okay? And you'll text them that and they won't get it. They'll just call you back.
Wow. So be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. Be
Yes.
careful out there who you be involved with, who you do business with, who you conduct yourself with. And if you are going out with somebody, buy your own drink. Do not trust nobody to bring a drink because people are slipping stuff inside drinks. And I think we need to do a show on that, Nancy. We need
Yes.
to do an episode on that because I watched this episode. Well, I seen this show, and they was talking. Well, you had these guys was going overseas to get women, not knowing out in Colombia, it's this drug called they call it Devil's Breath. It's a drug in Colombia
Mm.
where they'll block you. They'll block you from remembering things. It's like it make you like
Yes.
a zombie.
Yes.
And these guys were getting robbed over there. And then I think a couple of days later, they don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's the same thing as GHB. They're just giving it to them in a smaller dose. So they're like kind of awake, but they can't move, can't do anything, but you know what's going on. So
Right.
yeah,
They said like a
it's
zombie.
GHB. Yeah.
And they say it don't have no taste to it because they guy was doing a teaching on it. And he said the drug they put in your drink, but you can't taste it at all. It don't have no type of taste to it.
But they have it here too. It's called GHB.
So
So
be careful.
please, all of you be careful. Yeah, that's been going on forever. But they have like, little nicknames for it in other places because it makes it sound exotic. No, it's the same thing. So
Yeah, be careful.
I think actually they just have the more natural form over there, and that's where they came up with that nickname, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's definitely they're coming up with new ways to do it, to trick you and to get it in your drink. So for sure, just like watching your drink, period, or maybe you just don't have a drink. Maybe
Mhm.
have one drink, a glass of wine before you get there, and girlfriend, have some water so you can see what's going in the drink. So that would be my, for your first few times, and men too, same thing. It doesn't matter. A woman could do it too, and they have their own other motives.
Right?
So
Guys can do it too. It has
it's how they get robbed. Yeah, a lot.
no respect of person. So be careful out there because you got that date rape drug, which they've been going around for years too. So just be careful. I think you got stuff they can rub in your skin. I think they said the stuff that Diddy had, that they said the baby oil. But anyway, they were saying it was some type of, I don't know if it's true or not, but they saying it was some type of drug in it as well. Also, when they rub it in their skin. I
I believe
know.
they can come up with anything. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what they were doing with baseball players with steroids. They were trying to say with Barry Bonds, he would have some type of lotion, but it had steroids, and I don't know if it's true. He was rubbing his skin, so he wouldn't be the test of being tested for steroids. I think, so, but
okay.
it's all kind of stuff out there.
It
So be
definitely can be
careful.
absorbed that way. It just takes longer. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
So be very careful out there what you're doing. But like I said, you gotta do a show on this one. But we about to get ready to depart. So Nancy, go ahead and lead us out, and we'll be back here Tuesday night at 7 p.m.
Romans 10:9 says that if you believe with your heart and confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, you shall be saved. So from this day forward, just repeat this prayer. Say, Dear Lord Jesus, I admit I'm a sinner in need of your forgiveness. Please come into my heart. I believe that you rose on the third day, and I accept you as my Lord and Savior. Fill me with your Holy Spirit from this day forward. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. So we got this thing. Y'all have a great Sabbath. We'll be back here Tuesday here on the Walking Away Impact Book Podcast. Peace, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.